Hey Scoli-Scribers, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm continuing to share my scoliosis journey from age 12 to 20 on episode 7 of my Scoli-Series. This episode will be covering 2 points, showing you my tug-of-war test results and how to handle those up and down results. Let's go. Just to let you guys know, the x-ray results that I'm about to show you guys does jump from 2021 all the way to 2025. And the reason, I know that's a pretty big gap, but the reason being is that I actually don't have the results from 2022 to 2024 because I believe my mom has those archived. So this is the only one I have like personally with me right now, but it should still get the same message across. July 2nd, 2021, my spinal curvature was at 50 degrees. And just to know that I came from 73 degrees to this point, that was like an over 20 degree reduction. And so I was super happy with that result. And it was just good to know that both the daily exercises and bracing was working. If you guys are wondering about that little number, that 31, I actually should have mentioned this to you guys, but the reason why there's 2 numbers in there is because I actually have 2 curvatures. Obviously the 50 degrees, is more prominent, but that 31 is talking about the lumbar, the lower back. And as you can tell, that's kind of leaning slightly, and so that's 31 degrees. And I do want to mention from 2021 all the way to 2024, my spinal curvature stayed around that 50 degree mark. So it was between 50 and 56 degrees, just to let you guys know. January 2nd, 2025, my spinal curvature reached 46 degrees. And this was huge because I thought it could only stand that 50 degree mark. And this had been the lowest it's ever been up until this point without the brace. So this was definitely something to celebrate. I was super excited and happy. But literally within that year, August 18th, 2025, I lost a 10 degree reduction and spiked back up to 56 degrees. We worked years to get to 46 and then within months back to 56. And this is exactly why I say that it's this tug of war test results, because you gain some and then you lose some. And the reason that this happened is because I was growing. And Dr. J explained it like this: the more you grow, the more reduction you're actually going to lose. But he said, once you stop growing, we're actually going to be able to maintain and keep that reduction. And I'm the type of girl who just loved to grow, because during my freshman and sophomore year of college, I was still growing, which meant that I still had to play this, tug of war vibe, because I was just fighting my growth at this point. And I was really disappointed when I learned I went back to 56 degrees. Like, I just remember tears falling up in my eyes, and my mom was just as disappointed as well, because just as much as I've been in the scoliosis journey, so has she. So to say that I was upset and disappointed was an understatement. And every time I would come back from those type of appointments with just those up and down results, because you guys, this happened like multiple times throughout my scoliosis journey with these tug of war test results. And every time it happened, it would just evoke more fear, fear of just losing progress. So every couple of months, even still to this day, I would run to my mom and be like, "Mama, can you please check my back? Does it seem like it gotten worse? Does it seem like I'm more crooked than usual?" And honestly, in doing that, I think I was really just trying to prepare myself for the worst. So I had this type of logic, like, okay, if I can know now that I got worse, right? Like, when I go back, I won't be as upset or sad or disappointed. And so that was really hard, and I'm not even sure if I could just overcome that type of fear, just that fear of losing progress, because at this point, the scoliosis journey is just filled with that fear, and it may just be a thorn in my side, but if I find a way to overcome this fear, I'll let you guys know. So while I can't give you tips on how to overcome those up and down results, I can give you tips on how to best handle them and manage them. And that first tip is understand that doing something is better than doing nothing. Even though I lost reduction on numerous cases, I still did my exercises daily and I still wore the brace 24/7. because imagine if I just didn't do that at all and just waited until I stopped growing so I could try to maintain that, reduction. My spinal curvature probably would have been who knows where, like in the hundreds. So your hard work is definitely paying off, even if it is, that up and down tug of war and fighting that growth. You got this. The second tip is when you get good results, celebrate them. I struggle with doing this so much. And when I get good results, I always think, okay, is it going to stay the same by the time I go to the next treatment? That is not what you should be doing. Just celebrate and bask in your accomplishment. Treat yourself out to something. Be proud of yourself because you just did a huge accomplishment. And then the second tip or the third tip would be when you get bad results, just look how far you came. This is something that my mom would do every time my spinal curvature would worsen. She would remind me, okay, Anaya, yes, you may have got back to 56 degrees, but at least you're not at 73 degrees. Come on, because that's exactly where you started. So in a sense, both getting good results and bad results should still lead you to that positive and hopeful outcome. You should still be either celebrating in the moment, or if you get, the bad results, you should just be able to say, hey, you know what, at least I'm not back there. At least I'm way further than what I was when I started. So those are the two biggest tips. The fourth and final tip is trust your scoliosis doctor. And I think when receiving bad results, people automatically associate that with the doctor is doing something wrong, when that's honestly not true. Every time my spinal curvature would worsen, Dr. J would never be shaken. He understood that the reason why it was worsening is because I was still growing and fighting my own growth. But he was confident that he can get my spinal curvature back down to 40 degrees. Like, he always prioritized lessening my curvature. And even though the results would show otherwise of my spine going back to 50, he was like, no, I think your spine could actually go less than 50. I think it can go to 40 and less. And so his confidence really did foster that trust for me. Even when receiving bad results, or not the best results, I should say. And then obviously episode 2 of my Scoli-Series, it does explain what a good scoliosis doctor entails, and that's also what Dr. J is as well. And so I think those two together, his confidence, and then obviously filtering that through with, what a good scoliosis doctor entails, like those two things in conjunction really did help me trust Dr. J, even when those not so good results came. I hope y'all got blessed with this Scoli episode. You already know what I'm about to say. Make sure to stay tuned in for episode 8 of my Scoli series. Until next time, bye. Love ya.